Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel, and I'd like to talk to you today about a really cool, interesting, and fun card, Girish Kadakia, a level 4 ally in the Guardian class. And really, this video is all about what makes this card such a good Guardian card. Of course, it's just a good card in general. Let's read through it together. For cost, level 4, so not cheap at all. Got a few skill icons if you're ever going to commit this guy, or if you're playing Charlie, use him for that ability, but really, it's the rest of this card that is worthy of attention. He's an ally, police, trait. Girish Kadakia may be assigned damage and or horror dealt to investigators at your location, and as a free triggered ability, during a skill test performed by an investigator at your location, exhaust Girish. That investigator gets +2 skill value for this test. If this test is successful, heal 1 damage or horror from Girish Kadakia. 3/3 soak, ally slot, of course. Now, in Arkham Horror, the card game, there's roughly 4 things that you need to make sure you do to win. One is action compression, one is passing skill tests, one is not dying from the mythos, and the last one is generally about making sure your cards are available and able to be played with your resources and economy in general. This guy kind of solves 2 of those things. One is passing skill tests. You get +2 skill value. It's like a free unexpected courage every single round. And 2, the soak here, which probably doesn't run out if things are going well. But this is all within the context of the Guardian class, which I think this guy hits on so many different notes. Let's go over what those are. So, 4 things mostly to talk about: synergy with ally assets, soak, healing, and then the big one that Guardians like to do and have done very well in the chapter 1 of this game, which is team support. So, one at a time, a little bit more about each of these points. So, synergy with ally assets. Now, certainly there are investigators who care about Garish because he's an ally. Talked about this before, but Charlie and Leo, they're really interested in playing someone like this for a little bit cheaper or for other reasons. But there's good Guardian cards in the game that actually care about something being an ally. Not too many, actually. I wish there were more, but motivational speech to make this guy only cost 1. Guardian cards tend to be on the pricier side, but they do a lot. They're kind of important, impactful cards. Motivational speech makes this guy cheaper. Hey, they both came out in the same set. And then Inspiring Presence. This is a card that had a level 0 version way back when in Carcosa, and then most recently in Drowned City, a level 2 version. Now, it's kind of funny how these cards work. So what happens during the skill test is that you are going to exhaust Garish to get +2. You can then use Inspiring Presence to get probably another +2 to the test. So you better pass. And if you do pass, of course, you're going to heal a lot off of Garish. And you get to ready him and use him another time during this round. Might be during your turn, someone else's your turn. There are a few other cards that care about readying assets. Inspiring Presence, of course, makes the most sense with Garish. Just have to make sure there's a bunch of damage and horror on him first to get full value. Pretty good, though. All right. Of course, reason why you want to run this guy uh, for a lot of decks that might be taking a lot of damage is that it's just a ton of good soak there. So 3/3 soak is really good in the Guardian class. There's other ways to make that even more. There's the tarot card, the Star, that gives every asset you control with health +1 health. Same thing with Sanity. This guy ends up being a 4/4. Want that to be even more? There's a level 0 card, Trusted, that gives this guy up to maybe another uh, boost of health and sanity. Maybe you have 2 of those on here plus the Star. Maybe he's, a 5/5 or even a 6/6. That'd be crazy. That's like an entire other investigator, right? Especially if you're starting with Carson, who only has 6/6 himself. It'd be pretty funny to have a Garish here who can just tank a lot. And tanking is part of the Guardian class, whether that's you're running other allies like guard dogs and you need to put the damage somewhere. Maybe you're running something like toe to toe. There's lots of reasons for guardians to be in the thick of it, as it were, in the action. So being able to soak damage from or horror from attacks, or just damage or horror from encounter cards, this guy is super, super useful. Moving on to the healing aspect, because he's not just there to take all the damage, but he's there to continue to take damage forever. There's a lot of interesting cards that deal with healing, and I think that like Hollowed Mirror is one of them. But I wanted to compare Girish to Brother Xavier in general. He's like an upgraded version of Brother Xavier. This is an older card from Dungeon Legacy, and it's been kind of outclassed just because it was so expensive, and you don't get as much out of Brother Xavier as you do from Girish. It's a little different. You do damage on defeat. Girish, you don't really want to be defeated ever. You don't get the stat boost, the +1 forever. Girish gives you the +2 on single tests. So it's kind of interesting how similar they are from the Guardian perspective. So who wants to take these guys, right? And this is part of going back to the healing aspect. We have both Carolyn Fern and Vincent Lee. Vincent Lee being kind of an honorary Guardian in our case here, who proc off of healing different allies. So Carolyn Fern gets an extra resource every time you heal off of an ally, and that includes Girish. Vincent Lee gives you an on the mend skill, which is basically an unexpected courage. Really neat. I mean, again, these are just all very highly synergistic within the whole card pool. So when it comes down to it, should you play Girish? Yes. Yes, you should. But I think that he's just a perfectly designed ally for the Guardian class that I don't think there's anyone who wouldn't benefit from Girish. Even if you're not playing all these other synergistic pieces, like playing Carolyn or Vincent or Leo Anderson, um, getting that +2 is going to help you pass a lot of tests. And if you don't pass, you probably are going to take the consequences of the soak. Put some damage and horror from that encounter card test onto Grish instead. All right, have you played this guy? Have you put him in most of your decks? He's a little bit addictive because he's so darn good, but that's what I want out of a level 4 card, right? Expensive, but changes the way I play the rest of the game. Is he too good? I'll leave that for you to decide as well. Is not dying ever a problem? Well, sure, I think that can be a little bit silly in this game, but I guarantee you that you have played some scenarios where you needed the amount of soak that he's providing not you, but also the whole team. Remember, Guardians are not just protecting for themselves, but they're doing it for other investigators at their location. Even though this guy is really good in true solo, that whole text about team support can be blank. I think he's at his best when you're able to put as much damage and horror on him every single round and then heal it off as quickly as possible. So this is a great aspect of the game. It's very fun to play this way, I think, as a Guardian. I'm hoping that Chapter 2 has more of this. We haven't really seen it quite yet, but maybe we can get the Tommy Muldoon starter deck, the Evergreen starter deck, we'll see something like this. And if we get Girish back, hey, he's also a police traded card, I wouldn't complain. All right, that's it for me now. See you next week for another discussion about another card.